Hello students. In today's class, I am going to discuss on Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin is one of famous naturalist. He was born in 1809 and he is well known for his survey work, and he conducted survey in east coast of South America. He travelled in HMS Beagle. HMS Beagle is a name of survey ship. According to Darwin, evolution is always take place because of natural selection. In November 1859, Darwin published his thoughts on evolution in Origin of Species by the name of natural selection. Alfred Wallace Russell is another naturalist, and he also conducted survey from Malaya, had travelled widely in South America and East Indian archipelago. He also came to the similar conclusion regarding natural selection. Darwin's theory of evolution or Darwinism has 5 major postulates. First one is overproduction, and it is also called as rapid multiplication. Second one, limited resource. Third important postulate is struggle for existence. Fourth one, variation. And fifth one, natural selection, or it is also called as survival of fittest. First postulate is overproduction. According to Darwin, all living organisms, they are going to reproduce in geometric proportion. All living organisms, they are multiplying and they are producing more number of organisms. That's what he called it as a overproduction. Here we can consider one example, bacteria. Bacteria is going to reproduce after every 30 minutes. If you take example of elephant can reproduce or it can produce only 6 offspring in its life cycle. But its average lifespan is about 100 years and its fertile period is 60 years. In that 60 years, it is going to reproduce only 6 offspring. We can observe differential reproduction. That means one organism, that is like a bacteria, is going to produce more number of organism, but organism like elephant is going to reproduce less number of offspring. What differential reproduction we are observing in these two organisms, which is going to help in maintenance of stable and constant environment. Second postulate is limited resource. If an organism reproduce rapidly, resources like food, space will be remain same only. In environment, population size remains more or less constant or steady. Over the period of time, he called it as the constancy of size. Next one is struggle for existence. According to Darwin, struggle is mainly because of limited resource. And he divided struggle into 3 types. First one is intraspecific struggle. Struggle between same species called as intraspecific struggle. Here, why struggle will be there within a species? Because of their common requirement like food, shelter, mate, breeding places, etc. are the common reason for intraspecific struggle. Here we can consider example like human war is one of the example for intraspecific struggle. And the second one is cannibalism. Cannibalism refers to eating individual of its own species. That is termed as cannibalism. Yes, cannibalism also is one example for intraspecific struggle. Next one is interspecific struggle. Here interspecific refers to struggle between different species. Now just imagine piece of grassland is there. On that grassland, cow and horse both are present. Cow and horse both are different species. If these two are fighting for same food resource which is available in that environment, then such competition or such interactions are called as interspecific struggle, because here struggle is between two different species. Next type of struggle, that is environmental struggle. Struggle between organism and its environmental factor are called as environmental struggle. You can consider one example here. Some organism will struggle to survive in cold environment, and some organism will survive to struggle very hot environment. They need to show some adaptation, then they can adjust that environment and they will survive. So such interaction, that means interaction between organism and its environment factor, are called as environmental struggle. So factors like flood, drought, disease, temperature are the common factors, and organism they need to fight with these factors. Such interaction are called as environmental struggle. Next postulate is natural selection, or it is also called as survival of fittest. According to Darwin, survival of fittest is nothing but it is natural selection. The organism which are provided with favorable variations would survive while the unfit are destroyed. That means nature is going to select organism. If we consider example like long neck giraffe, is evolution of long neck giraffe is an example for natural selection. How in the sense, giraffe earlier they are having short neck, they are not having this long neck. So they are a fittest one. According to Darwin, fittest refers to reproduction fitness. So that's what they are going to leave more progeny, and such the new offspring or progeny they are adopting environment. So if they are adopting environment and they are showing favorable changes, favorable variation which are suitable to survive in that environment, such organism will survive more. Last postulate, that is variation. According to Darwin, variation refers to difference in a character between the individual of common descent is considered as variation, and Darwin considered this variation which are observed wherein parents as well as in their progeny are the key point for evolution. According to him, no two members of any species are exactly same. If you consider our example, we are different from our parents. We are different in size, color, health as well as strength. Next concept is evidence for evolution. In that, first evidence is fossils. First we'll see definition of fossils. The remains or impression of a prehistoric plants or animals embedded in a rock and preserved in petrified form are called as fossils. Fossils are also termed as remains of hard parts of life form found in rocks. Usually these fossils are available wherein sedimentary rocks. So they are present wherein sedimentary rocks. Study of fossils and their age are called as paleontology. Paleontology refers to study of fossils. Sedimentary rocks are the special kind of rocks. They are formed by accumulation or deposition of small particles or cementization of minerals as well as organic particles. They will be present wherein case of floor of ocean or other water bodies at the surface of earth. Through fossils we can understand organisms are restricted to certain geographical area as well as certain geographical era, and they are not present now. Why? Because this environment is not suitable for those organisms. They are not fittest in this new environment. So this we can understand through this evidence. We can consider a dinosaurus example. Dinosaurs are only restricted were in Mesozoic era, but where in case of present era they are not present. Embryological support for evolution. Embryological support for evolution was proposed by Ernst Haeckel. Here one diagram you can observe. In that diagram, early embryo stage to adult stage that we are observing. Embryo of fish we are observing, salamander, tortoise, chicken and human being. Fish to human being, what we are considered, they all belongs to a same group, vertebrates. Wherein first stage, early developmental stage, early embryo stage, they are showing common feature. Fish, they are having gill slits. Salamander, early embryo stage, also showing gill slits. Tortoise, chicken, wherein human being also we are observing gill slits. But wherein later developmental stage, as they will develop into adult form, there we are not observing gill slits wherein all vertebrates. Only we are observing wherein fish as well as salamander. But wherein other organism like tortoise, chicken and human being, gill slits were absent. That means here we can observe that embryological developmental evidence showing that they are descending from a same ancestor. That means they are evolved from same ancestor. Carl Ernst Ohnbeer disproved this embryological support for evolution. Why? Because he detailedly studied some of the organism and their embryo stage. But most of organism, they will be remain in their embryo stage only. They are not going to form their adult form. That's what he disproved this theory. Next concept is comparative anatomy and morphology. Comparative anatomy and morphology study is going to help in understanding similarity and dissimilarity among organisms. In that first one is homologous organs. Homologous organs are also called as homology. First we'll see definition of homologous organs. Organs of different animals that are having similar anatomical structure but differ in their functions are termed as homologous organs. We'll see what are the example for homologous organ. First example is forelimb of vertebrates. Second one, thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita. Vertebrate hearts or brain is also example for homologous organ. If you take forelimbs of vertebrates like whales, bat, cheetah and human being, anatomically their forelimb is made up of with same bones. That means humerus, radius, ulna, carpal, metacarpal, phalanges bones are present in their forelimbs. But they are performing different function. Why? Because they are adopting different territory. That's what here they are diverging through their ancestor. First, if you see whale forelimb is going to help in swimming. Bat forelimb is going to help in flying. Cheetah forelimb is used in running, and we are using our forelimb for handling purpose. Anatomically, even though their forelimbs are same, but they are performing different function. This is the best example for homologous organ. If you consider second example, that is thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita. Thorns and tendrils of these two plants are originated from same axillary bud, but here they are performing different function. Tendrils of cucurbita is going to help in mechanical support and thorns meant for protection purpose. Third example, vertebrate hearts. If you consider vertebrate hearts, all vertebrate, their heart is made up of with cardiac muscle, but they are performing different function. That means they are myogenic in origin, but one heart, that means fish heart, is receiving mixed blood because single circulation is there, where in case of mammal, heart is going to receive both oxygenated as well as deoxygenated blood. Anatomically, even though they are same, functionally they are different. Next concept is divergent evolution. All homologous organs, they shows divergent evolution. If you see meaning of divergent evolution, there we are going to understand speciation. That means new species are formed from common ancestor. Divergent evolution is the phenomena in which two species are having common ancestor but develops different characteristics due to changes in their environment, which they adopt slowly and they give rise to new species. If you consider one example, B and C species are newly formed species. B, C species are originated from common ancestor called A. A is the common ancestor for B and C, but both species B and C are not same. Why? Because B species adopting some different environment, C is also adopting some different environment. They are showing some modification. That's what here we are observing speciation. So when they are deviating from its parent, we are calling such evolution as a divergent evolution. In all homologous organs, we are going to observe divergent evolution. Next concept is analogous organs or analogy. First we'll see definition of analogous organ. Organs of different animals not having similar anatomical structures but perform same function are termed as analogous organs. We'll see example for this analogous organs. Wings of butterfly and birds. Second one is sweet potato and potato. Eyes of octopus and mammals. If you consider first example, wings of butterfly and birds, these two are best example for analogous organ. Why? Because wings of butterfly and birds wings are meant for same function. Both they are meant for flight. Means for flying purpose, butterfly wing is there, as well as for flying purpose, where in case of aves also wings are there. But their origin is different. Where in all insect, chitinized exoskeleton itself it is modifying and it is forming wings. But where in case of birds, forelimb is going to modify and it is going to form wings. Origin, even though they are different, but they are performing same function. Second example, sweet potato and potato. We know that sweet potato is a root modification, but where in case of potato, potato is a one of the stem modification. Their origin is different. One it is originated from root and second one is originated from stem. But both they are performing same function. Sweet potato and potato, they are going to store their starch food granules wherein. That's what their function is same, but their origin is different. Third example is eyes of octopus and mammals. If you consider octopus eyes, it is one of the modification of their dermal layer. But wherein our case, wherein all mammals, eyes are formed through brain. Means brain itself it is modifying and it is give rise to that sensory organ called as eyes. In our case, eyes are derived from brain. But where in case of octopus, eyes are derived from their dermal layer. Origin, even though they are different, but both eyes are meant for visionary purpose. Here what we can understand, organs origin, even though they are different, but they are performing same function. Through their function, somehow they are converging. Convergent evolution, it is a continuation part of analogous organ. All analogous organ, they shows convergent evolution. Convergent evolution means two or more different species developed similar characteristic due to adaptation to a particular environment, but they do not belong to the same ancestor, are kept under convergent evolution. Here what will happen? Two organisms will be present in same environment. Consider two organisms, they are present in aquatic media. they need to adopt that aquatic media. That's what they will show similar characteristic feature. But both species will not evolve from same ancestor. Even though they are not evolved from same ancestor, but their morphological features will be same. Okay, such organisms are considered as convergent evolution. If you consider species A and species B, here what will happen? A species is originated from different ancestor. B is also originated from different ancestor. But A and B species are present in similar environment. That's what, to adopt that environment, both species, they are showing some modification. A is showing some morphological feature. Same feature is also present where in case of B. If both A and B species are present in same environment, consider A species is also aerobial, B is also aerobial. Both species, they are having wings. Even though their ancestor is different, their origin is different, but to adopt that environment, species A and B, they are showing some similar feature. Through that similar feature, they are converging, means they are meeting in one point. That's what wing and insect example what we consider, that only we can continue here. A consider it as an insect, B you consider it as a bird. Both are aerobial. Both wings they meant for flight. Both they are aerobial one. They need to adopt that aerobial environment. That's what they are meeting in one point. Such evolutions are called as convergent evolution. All analogous organs are best example for this convergence.